Hey, tonight is night 14 of a nighttime devotional series I'm doing, where I'm inviting you to read Psalm 119 with me before bed. And if this is the first one in the series that you're seeing, what this series looks like is my pages get turned by the wind each night. And also, I've been reading one 8-verse section of Psalm 119, because Psalm 119, there it goes again. Because Psalm 119, while it's one of the longest chapters in the Bible, is actually divided up into 22 sections that are all exactly 8 verses long. And so each night in this series, I'm reading one of these 8-verse sections and then sharing what I want to be thinking about as I go to sleep. And if you're reading Psalm 119 with me, I'd love for you to share what you want to be thinking about as well. And in this way, it can be like our own little nighttime devotional / Bible study before we go to sleep to help us get in God's Word and have peace. And so if you want to join in this nighttime devotional series, or even just for tonight, I would love that. Tonight is night 14, so that means the section we're reading tonight is the 14th section of Psalm 119, which is verses 105 through 112. This is what they say. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. I have taken an oath and confirmed it, that I will follow your righteous laws. I have suffered much. Preserve my life, Lord, according to your word. Accept, Lord, the willing praise of my mouth, and teach me your laws. Though I constantly take my life in my hands, I will not forget your law. The wicked have set a snare for me, but I have not strayed from your precepts. Your statutes are my heritage forever. They are the joy of my heart. My heart is set on keeping your decrees to the very end. Let's take a moment to reflect on what we just read. You can pause the video here if you want. What really stood out to me tonight and what I want to be thinking about is that very first verse in this section, verse 105, that says, your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. And I know someone was talking in the comments in an earlier video about how this is their favorite verse. And I'm right there with you. This is one of my favorite verses too, because it's so true and it's so important. When we're living by God's word and living surrendered to God, this is exactly what it feels like. He lights up our path and he shows us where to go. And one thing I like about this, and sometimes don't really like that much if I'm being honest, is the fact that God can choose to light up however much or however little he wants to, depending on the season we're in and depending on how much he wants us to know. So sometimes we see a lot, and sometimes we just see a little bit, we just see a step. But either way, when we're living according to God's word, he always shows us what to do. He shows us the right way to be walking in. And when we're being intentional about reading the Bible and getting in his word, just like we're doing tonight, he lights up our path and he shows us the way to walk, because we're getting familiar with his word and we're listening to what he has to say. Tonight, the importance of this just stood out to me, and I always love reading this verse and being reminded of all this. And I forgot to add, if you're watching this video early on Saturday night or Sunday during the day, this is Sunday night's video. But what I'm doing in this series to be intentional about honoring Sundays and giving myself Sundays as a day of rest is I'm posting Sunday night's video on Saturday night as well, so that I can have Sundays as a full day of rest. And so for the weekends of this series, both Saturday night and Sunday night's video will be posted on Saturday night. And so whatever time you're watching this, I'm super glad you joined me for this video. I don't take it for granted, and I'm really glad to have people reading Psalm 119 with me and joining me for these videos. It really means a lot. I'd love to know what stood out to you whenever reading this section tonight. You can let me know in the comments, and if you want to join in this series, I'll be doing this for 22 nights, as there are 22 8-verse sections in Psalm 119. And so if you want to join, that would be awesome. Thank you for joining me tonight. Come back tomorrow night for night 15, where we'll look at the next 8-verse section of Psalm 119.